It was a quiet Saturday morning in Maplewood Estates. The kind of neighborhood where lawns were trimmed to military precision and mailboxes had to be painted sunset beige or face the wrath of the HOA. I had just poured my second cup of coffee when the sharp, impatient knock came at the door, 3 times. Rapid, like a drum roll before bad news. When I opened it, there she was. Karen, president of the Homeowners Association. Her blonde bob glistened under the morning light like a helmet of authority. She was flanked by 2 men in black polo shirts with HOA Security printed in gold on their chests. Both stood with their arms crossed, sunglasses hiding whatever humanity might have existed behind those mirrored lenses. "Good morning, Mr. Thompson," Karen said, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "We need to discuss an outstanding matter of emotional damages." I blinked. Emotional what? She raised a manila folder like it was holy scripture. "You caused significant emotional distress to me and several board members at last month's HOA meeting when you, how did you put it, called our enforcement policies cartoonishly tyrannical." "That was a joke," I said. "A light-hearted one." Her lips tightened. Humor at the expense of authority is a serious matter. As HOA President, I am authorized to seek restitution for emotional damages incurred during official proceedings. I stared at her. "That's not a thing, Karen." "It is now," she said. "The board voted this week to approve Resolution 72B. It authorizes the collection of fees related to emotional harm inflicted upon HOA members." Behind her, one of the guards cracked his knuckles, as if emotional damage required physical enforcement. "So how much am I supposed to owe?" I asked. Karen smirked. $200 for me. And $50 for each board member who witnessed your outburst. That brings your total to $500. I laughed. I couldn't help it. "You're shaking me down over hurt feelings." Her smile dropped. "You have 72 hours to pay, or we'll place a lien on your property. Failure to comply will result in further consequences." The guard stepped closer, just enough for the intimidation to set in. I took a deep breath, leaned against the doorframe, and said, "Karen, if you think I'm paying you $500 for emotional damages, you're delusional." She tilted her head. "We'll see who's delusional when the HOA legal committee gets involved." Then she turned sharply, her guards in tow, leaving the faint scent of lavender perfume and unearned power in their wake. I shut the door and muttered to myself, "She's officially lost it." But deep down, I knew this was only the beginning. By Monday morning, I found a bright pink envelope taped to my mailbox with "Urgent HOA Business" stamped in red ink. Inside was a neatly typed letter on official letterhead. Notice of emotional damages assessment. Payable within 72 hours. Non-payment may result in legal action, property lien, or community service under HOA supervision. At the bottom was Karen's signature, looped, sharp, and smug. I marched straight to the HOA office. The place looked like a suburban courtroom, complete with a front desk that probably cost my last 3 annual dues. Karen sat behind it, tapping her pen. "Ah, Mr. Thompson," she said. "I trust you've come to settle your debt." "Debt?" I snapped. "You can't fine me for emotional damages, Karen. There's nothing in the bylaws about that." She slid a binder across the counter. "Actually, there is now. Section 14, paragraph 3, added last Thursday." I flipped through it, jaw tightening as I read the new clause. Members may be held financially responsible for emotional or psychological harm inflicted upon other members during HOA-sanctioned meetings or correspondence. I looked up. "You can't just add this out of nowhere." "The board voted unanimously," she said, smug as ever. "Of course they did," I muttered. "You probably threatened to emotionally damage them if they didn't." Karen leaned forward. "You're skirting dangerously close to another infraction." Mr. Thompson. I'd advise caution. Her guards, who'd been pretending to reorganize papers, turned slightly toward me. I met her gaze. I'm not paying a dime. And if you try to slap a lien on my house, I'll get a lawyer. Karen smiled faintly. You do that. Just remember, HOA bylaws supersede homeowner disputes in this community. That's not how the law works. It is in Maplewood Estates, she said. I walked out before I said something that would cost me another $500. At home, I called my friend Carla, a paralegal who had spent years dealing with HOA nonsense. I sent her pictures of the letter and the new bylaw. She called back an hour later, laughing. This isn't legal. Emotional damages? That's not enforceable. She's bluffing. Yeah, well, she's got guards, I said. Then record everything, Carla replied. She's stepping way out of line. You might just have a case of your own. I hung up and looked out my window. Across the street, Karen stood on her lawn, watching me. Clipboard in hand. She smiled and waved. This was war. By Tuesday, Karen had escalated. Everywhere I turned, there were subtle reminders of her reach. A citation appeared on my door for unapproved garden. Gnomes. Another for trash. Bins visible for longer than 5 minutes. Post collection. Then came the notice about my grass height exceeding neighborhood uniformity standards. It was absurd. My yard looked better than hers. At noon, I saw one of her guards snapping pictures of my driveway. I walked outside, phone in hand, recording. Can I help you? I asked. Routine inspection, he said. For what, exactly? He hesitated, then muttered, emotional damage compliance. I almost laughed. You're kidding. Karen emerged from behind her rose bushes like she'd been waiting for her cue. Documentation, Mr. Thompson, she said cheerily. For when this goes before the HOA tribunal. Tribunal. Oh yes, she said, stepping closer. A special hearing. To review your ongoing misconduct. And refusal to comply with community emotional standards. Karen, this is harassment. Her expression didn't change. Harassment implies wrongdoing. I'm ensuring order. I took a step forward. You're ensuring your own ego. Her smile faltered. That's another strike, Mr. Thompson. Keep talking. And you'll owe me even more emotional damages. I started laughing, openly this time. You really think anyone's going to take this circus seriously? Her guards moved closer. That's enough, sir, one said, low and threatening. I stopped recording and turned to go back inside. But not before snapping my own photo of Karen mid-glare. That image, I decided, was going straight to Carla. That night, I compiled every notice, letter, and recording into a folder. I sent it all to Carla with one line. I'm done playing nice. By morning, she called back. I showed this to my firm's senior attorney. He's intrigued. Says you've got a solid harassment and abuse of power claim. Wants to meet. Perfect, I said. Let's end this. That afternoon, Karen's next move arrived, a bright yellow sign staked in my yard. Property under emotional review, HOA enforcement in progress. I stood there, jaw slack, while my neighbors peeked through their curtains. Karen, across the street, gave me a triumphant little wave. I smiled back. Because this time, I wasn't angry, I was ready. Friday arrived with storm clouds, literal and metaphorical. I met Carla and her attorney, Mr. Ellis, in his downtown office. He was a calm, gray-haired man with the kind of composure that unnerved opponents. After reviewing my file, he smiled. She's overstepped in half a dozen ways, he said. Harassment, defamation, abuse of HOA authority. We'll start with a cease and desist. He drafted it that afternoon, 3 pages of pure legal thunder, and sent it straight to the HOA board. By evening, Karen was on my porch again, this time without her guards. Her lipstick was smudged. Her confidence cracked. Mr. Thompson, she said stiffly. This letter you had sent. It's unnecessary. We can resolve this internally. I folded my arms. You wanted a tribunal, remember? She winced. The board didn't approve it. There was confusion. Confusion or mutiny? I asked. She hesitated. Some members felt my actions were excessive. I couldn't resist. Emotionally damaging, perhaps. Her face turned crimson. She shoved a paper at me. Your fines have been rescinded. Let's put this behind us. I took the paper, glanced at it, then said, No, Karen. We're not done. Her eyes narrowed. What are you planning? Accountability, I said simply. Mr. Ellis is filing a formal complaint with the county. You don't get to bully people and hide behind HOA letterhead. For the first time, Karen looked scared. You wouldn't. I smiled. Watch me. The following week was chaos in Maplewood Estates. News spread fast, neighbors whispered, old grudges resurfaced. One by one, the board turned on her. By Wednesday, Karen's resignation letter appeared in everyone's mailbox. Printed in bitter italics. Effective immediately. I hereby resign as President of the Maplewood Estates HOA. Due to personal and emotional exhaustion. Emotional exhaustion. The irony nearly made me choke. Days later, I saw her packing her SUV. Boxes labeled HOA records stacked haphazardly. No guards. No clipboard. Just a woman dethroned by her own arrogance. As she closed her car door, she looked over at me. You ruined everything, she said quietly. I shook my head. No, Karen. You did. She drove off, leaving tire marks that even HOA policy couldn't scrub away. When the new board took over, they repealed Resolution 72B. Emotional damages were officially declared a violation of common sense. That night, I sat on my porch, sipping coffee in peace for the first time in weeks. For the first time, the air in Maplewood Estates felt free.